judgment coming is now and hell and chant. Earthquake, Jah Rastafari, Sila, Selassie, Jah Rastafari. You better be ready when Rastafari comes. It may be morning, noon, or night. Brother, make your heart be pure and right. You better be ready when Rastafari comes. Say you better be ready when Rastafari comes. You better be ready when Rastafari comes. It may be morning, noon, or night. Brother, make your heart be pure and right. You better be ready when Rastafari comes. Say you better be ready when Rastafari comes. You better be ready when Rastafari comes. It may be morning, noon, or night. Brother, make your heart be pure and right. You better be ready when Rastafari comes. I say you better be ready when Rastafari comes. You better be ready when Rastafari comes. It may be morning, noon, or night. Brother, make your heart be pure and right. You better be ready when Rastafari comes. I say you better be ready
And Rastafari come. Blessed love, oh, give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. Yes, I'm very thankful that you have, taken the time to come and join us here in the Tiger's Nest. Yeah, this is another edition of the Mystic Vibration. Hey, give thanks for all those who are maybe stepping in for the very first time. Well, around here we exalt Damawe Haile Selassie. Negasai Selassie Ja Rastafari. Give thanks for your presence with us. This is the program known as the Shock of the Hour. I am your host, humble to, bring forward such a program to you. Give thanks. I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. And of course, you yourself, you're a child of the Most High, so honor yourself as well. As Marcus Messiah Garvey himself taught us to honor ourselves. It doesn't mean we're high and mighty and no one better than anyone. It just means that you understand the God that dwells within your own self. So honor yourself. I'm here with the Honorable Prince and the Honorable Princess. And you, the honorable people, are with us. So even as Bobo Shanti, we bless each other. Yes, honorable. For ye are all God. Well, what is taking place here this evening as the showers are coming down? Right here in Antigua with Dudley, of course, you're going to definitely be basking in a little meditation. This evening we want to somewhat revisit our lecture on Sunday. Of course, all our subscribers would have been present, or at least had the opportunity to be present at the lecture on Sunday that we did. Of course, that was Rastafari and the Womb Man. That was a mighty and terrible presentation. And of course, because of the response and different ones have been still asking questions, I decided to somewhat revisit an area of that lecture. Now, of course, we spoke about many different things. We went into the polarity, the negative and the positive, the new and the now net, that whole science we went through. Of course, the black hole, the science of the black hole, and the cycle of the menstrual cycle, natural menstrual cycle of the woman. What else we touched upon within that lecture? Several things. Of course, the coronation of Haile Selassie Empress Menen, and at the same time, but this evening, really what I wanted to touch upon is the whole science of what we spoke of as it relates to Huldah. And I think that since, we are on that trend to a degree with the biblical, and of course, our upcoming event, which is Sunday, the 22nd day of November. Of course, we will be directly dealing with what is known as the uh, the Bible Decoded, not the Bible Decoded, Bible Decoded. That is how it's entitled, Bible Decoded. How to read the text. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a very upful meditation. We already have begun preparation for such. And for those who have been visiting our online lectures so far, I am sure you can agree that, well, it's a little bit different than maybe what is happening on the mainstream. So I'm inviting all of you Sunday, the 22nd day of November. Of course, bring your pen and your pad. That's one of the main things we do here at the lecture, the online lecture. Bring your pen and your pad for the information so you can jot down. It will be 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time sharp. And of course, you know that we will be utilizing a specific webinar software. So from you pay the admission fee, which is only $20 United States currency, you will receive at the appropriate time, you will receive your key that will allow you to enter into the lecture on Sunday the 22nd. Oh, wonderful, rivers of showers of blessings coming out of the heavens around us. You may be able to even hear it outside of our recording studios here. And remember, we have the Cash App available at Atonra 2723. That's Atonra 2723. And if there's any issue with such, you could just email us, priestisaac27 at gmail.com. And I'm looking forward. And the information is just the exact same for the lecture that we did, the Rastafari and the woman. For those who did not get to be there live, it is still available. The same way you could get your key for the upcoming lecture on the 22nd, it is the same way you could get your key for the lecture that has passed, being Rastafari and the woman. And I will definitely encourage you to definitely invest in that. It has already been done and we could speak of it. So what I want to do this evening, you would have to get your Bibles out, and we will be going into the book of Second Chronicles chapter 34 again, and we'll be, if you want to say, taking another look as we scan the whole science of Huldah. So those who were not present, this is something that you would want to hear. All right. Before I go there, before we go into that realms, yeah, thunder roll, eh? Ha. Let's do this.
In I be in birth I mean the ACGC code in a biogene, the YHWH hiding, the 10 virgins for Quranic similarities. Yeah. As Matthew 25 really kitty, humanistic, nihilistic to do away with it. The lessons of the Bible transcend the myth. As platinum left vinyl, not to skip. Why academia left out the truth of it? There was raging, flaming taxes and light shooting from the dragon lip. Well, a natty-headed prophet priest king up on a white horse resist. Jah in I be, in birth I mean, ACGC code in a biogene, the YHWH hiding. Daily wrestling head here tangle wool black children done oversee. His image just done oversee. Proceeded to profane the name into numerous multifaceted atrocities in the city. Oh. Jamis of red green pastures, deep valleys. Rastafari inspire I so free.
Yeah.
Mind boss chains to Jupiter reach. In nice
Jupiter reach, I hope we blazing, man.
in I be.
I surely am.
Ja in I be.
All right.
Yeah, Almighty, I can take the truth of how you feel inside. If it is prosperity, spin it just like a wheel. Poverty cause a lot of ones to grieve. Permanent deficit, decimal systemically. The same thing happened to your system that you try to coyote. As nature, American, Soma and peyote. Akashic visions of battles that will come to be.
Yes, we definitely give thanks, you know. Yeah. Rastafari.
Should have made it upright easy just to say so.
A lot of thunder and lightning in the heavens at the moment.
Jah in I be. As Moses, cherubim, gold-plated box, Indiana Jones.
Yeah, give thanks for the Moses spirit man in the Messiah. Garvey, you know. Man say look for him in the thunder, you know. Haile Selassie first.
Yeah. Straight up just so if you don't know biblicality. The Lion of the tribe of Judah is the King of Kings. The King of Kings.
Just a little over a year since Brother Vaughn Benjamin made that step out. You know, so you go sometime, you know. Every now and again, you know, meaning the melody, every now and again, you know, I'll say it straight, you know, like I would get into a vibes where I say, but what's going on here? You know, that kind of way, like, what kind of vibes is that? You know, I mean, yeah. That kind of power just, I'm telling you. But anyway, give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. So what we want to do now, 2 Chronicles chapter 34. And again, as I said, you could see the full lecture that we did on Rastafari and the woman. It is still available, but this is just, you know, a part of it, a little snippet of it, but we will, I would say, expand maybe a bit more, since this is what we're going to be chewing on, at least for the evening. So what happened here is this, and as I said, let's expand on it, Princess. What happened here is this, that we understand that the children of Israel, the chosen of God, coming out of their state of captivity in Egypt land. Oh, hear them thunder there, man. Them is people running under the bed and stuff like that, eh? Nah, man, we call for that, eh? Lightning, make it hit the earth. It's we that in flesh. We ain't have no time to run from the elements. Run to the elements. Yeah, but anyway. So the children of Israel, in a time like now when there's enough lightning and thunder in the elements, Moses up in the mountains talking to the thunder and getting tablets of instructions to go and give to the populace. They're down there boogie woogieing around a calf. And Moses come and, you know, the whole story. The 10 commandments and the commandments and the laws that you see in Leviticus and Deuteronomy and Numbers and whatever. You know, well, Exodus, right, and Genesis. Well, those are the books of Moshe, of Moses. So, and you know, there's more to it, eh? Yeah, there's a lot of different writings. We just get the scraps, eh? And mix up with and milk and sugar added. But anyway, so So the Moses stuff was God in flesh. Moses is a God figure. Moses is a God figure. The Bible has some God figures. That mean you're reading a story of God in flesh, especially when you understand the mythos. So Moses is the God figure and Yahashua, the son of God, and all of that. So we have laws, and at the time of Moses, it was a rigid thing. You have to keep up this. This is God talking about, talking to us here. The 10 Commandments. I think we all can agree. Yes, thou shalt not. But way before that, we were saying, I have not. I have not stolen. I have not lied. I have not, what else? There's this thing on the wall right here.
I have not committed adultery.
Right, and I've not uttered evil words. I have not caused pain. If you hear my voice change, I just look across. It's on the wall here. The 42 divine principles of Ma'at. You know, the goddess Ma'at, the balance. Just this morning, I think it was, listening to a program, and it's about the woman too, isn't it? The host of a program, a man, he was speaking to, I think it was a politician or someone. And they were saying, well, you know what I mean, remember, justice is supposed to be blind. Remember, that's Lady Justice has the bandana wrapped around her eyes. But if you look at Ma'at, we're looking at the picture of Ma'at on the wall. And Ma'at has this stuff around her head, you know. And, you know, Ma'at has the scales of Ma'at and the balance of Ma'at. And really, the scale for Lady Justice, you would see it and it's kind of lopsided. And somehow the bandana coming and covering the eyes supposed to mean that justice does not discriminate there. So justice don't care if you're a man or a woman, if you're tall or short. No Willie Lynch here for justice. Justice don't need to see your face. That's the impression that we're getting. It sounds nice, poetically nice too, but it is in total opposition. So okay, if that is correct, what do you want to say? Our ancient symbol of justice was wrong because our justice could see what is approaching? No. You see, this is it. We live in a society, I would say a pathetic society, where we try to hide. You know what I mean? Everybody has the right to, whatever gender you choose, all of them things going. I'll be careful how you're talking. They'll flag all this and say, oh, hate speech. Yeah, been there, done that, you know what I mean? So anyway, but the point is now, so they will tell you things like, well, I'm colorblind. And to say that you're colorblind is supposed to mean that you don't see colors. So you don't discriminate, you don't judge because you are colorblind. But colors have meaning. There's substance in colors. There's a reason for colors. We had a hike. It was at the hike, I think, just the other day up to Greencastle Hill. Was it at the hike?
Yeah.
We were speaking about the color green, and I was showing the hikers with me that, you see, yes, exactly, we were at the eternal city, and I was showing them, we see, well, you see, that's the power of colors. Because, for example, green is a color that, that's why you go into the forest when you are stressed and you're agitated. You go and take a walk amongst nature and the different colors, but primarily green. You understand? The ocean blue, which is green sometimes, but it does something to you. Even your house, some people paint their house green and blue, and I think maybe yellow. I think it would be that would bring a certain level of calmity. I think these are the colors that would more align with that whole aspect of being calm. And I know for sure many of our audience, members of our audience, are well in tune with their colors and understand colors, crystals, gems, flowers, these different things, fruits for the day, all kind of things going on. You'd be surprised, man, telling you about which grain for which day. Grain, eh? Tell a quinoa. No, you don't eat quinoa on Wednesday, brother. If you do that, Mars is not gonna be happy. And Saturn's ring is gonna, hey, like I say, wow, this thing gone real futuristic. Eh? But yes, yeah. So it's many things, many layers. Don't worry, we have a lot of time here. So when you understand this science here, this is what I'm speaking of now. That the whole science comes down again back to Moses, and that's where I am. I haven't lost my point at all, but this is an educational program. That's how we do it. If this is the first time you're joining us, don't worry, just hold on to every point. It's almost like a roller coaster, trust me. So yes, going back to the greens and seeing the colors and all of that is very important. So when you see the color, you understand, you experience the color. Don't hide from the color. Just know the value of the color. So in other words, justice shouldn't be blind. See, I didn't miss my point. I know where I'm going there. Justice should not be blind. Justice should be able to see. And we shouldn't be arguing with blind justice and lopsided scale. We were the ones that introduced justice to the world. The goddess Ma'at, you understand, with the what you call this stuff there, with the scale of justice. And if you look at the picture of Ma'at, she actually has the same stuff that is around the eyes of woman justice, lady justice, is the same bandana that is around her head. That's the right term, bandana. What do you call that? A headscarf? What is this? Headband. Headband. Maybe headband might be the right term there. Exactly. You understand. So I'm just showing you there that she now, in her law, interesting, a woman there again, in her law, Ma'at law, I have not stolen, you know, I have not, whatever it is, commit adultery. But then now, within the commandments, it's more like thou shalt not. That's very interesting. And really, it is nothing to be ashamed of, not at all. Because the point is that it just reinforces the point that the anciency of Ma'at is much older, because therein lies, you know, the commandments showing that we have not. And interesting, this is more interesting, that there was a time that we would not even have to say that, because that did not exist. Steal, lie, fornication, adultery, what else you do there, and other gods but beside me, all of that, it did not exist. We did not even have the words for these things. It just did not exist. But then someone seemed, you know, someone came around that we noticed that, wait, this person here is a thief. This person picks up things that doesn't belong to him and her and doesn't give it back. We don't do that. We've never done that. I've never even known about that. What about you, sire? This is the first I'm seeing that. People take up things that don't belong to them. What do you call that? I think they call it stolen. Wow, we have to add that to our vocabulary. We have never stolen. That's how we came there, you know, because we came upon somebody that has stolen, somebody that lies, somebody that kills, because we never did all of this. That's why we had to say that. Why would we say that? Because somebody came around doing that. Wow, you understand? Now, this is to show you that our agency is much older than even the philosophy of, even the concept of the Israelites. Because they now, I don't think no one will disagree, coming out of the stage of captivity. And they were a very young age nation, pardon me. Israel was a toddler when they came out of Egypt. And I'm just speaking it in the language of the story. I think everyone that is listening knows exactly how we meditate and all of this. Well, as I said, you may be joining for the first time. Egypt doesn't necessarily mean Africa, Egypt. In fact, in the story, that is not what it's talking about. We can definitely disprove that in many different ways. It's a very layered story too, meaning that it has different angles to it. Even if you look at it from the Egypt in the African perspective, but we don't want to bust it down too heavy on that level right now. But the point is that Egypt, or Israel coming out of Egypt, was a little baby, if not a toddler, just beginning to walk then, coming out of Egypt. So they had to be trained. So this is why this law of correction had to come down and say, hey, you shall not steal, because they were stealing. Thou shalt not have no other gods is a cow they were dealing with, according to the story. One may say that it was Hathor, I have a totally different outlook of that as well. Thou shalt not, what else they're not supposed to do? The whole shebang. They're not supposed to do these things because obviously they were doing it. All right. All a part of the lesson. So then now, the lawgiver, Moses, is the great teacher of them, and he brings this knowledge to them, this information, and he brings all the commandments and the statutes and the precepts. And I will say here that when we go through, especially when we talk about the Holy Grail, you know, we make it our business to look at certain laws of Moses and show that it is not as literal as it is written. And I will do this, say, even, let me see which one. Circumcision, as we know it today. It is not literal in the laws of Moses. I mean, we have done programs about that. Same laws of Moses tell you circumcise your heart. See that light in there? Yeah. Last year, the first. Same laws of Moses say it is the circumcision of the heart. Not Paul says about Moses, now Moses says so. So go and cut the foreskin of your heart, man. It's symbolic. The fat of the kidneys of wheat. The fat of the kidneys of wheat in the songs of Moses. Look it up. The fat of the kidneys of wheat. The whole science doesn't exist. The fat of kidneys of which wheat? Which wheat do you mean? Wheat? The grain wheat? The fat of the kidneys? You know, so it's the whole science of how the words are organized there is not a literal thing. There's a symbolic meaning within it. You understand? So all of that must be taken into place here with what we are into consideration with what we are going into now when we go into the book of Chronicles. So Moses himself has laid down a lot of instructions, seen in what is known as the Torah, what is understood as the Torah, at least from our modern day understanding of this story here. But anyway, following the storyline of the same Bible now, we fast forward. All what I said here is very important because I'm drawing the picture even for the mind that has never even thought about this, so they could understand the importance of the Mosaic time and the Mosaic law and how Moses and the whole children of Israel story intertwined, coming now fast forward at least 500 years or so, several generations. The priest known as Hilkiah. Now, obviously, listen to this. After Moses passed on, Bible said Moses died. So after Moses passed on, and they conquered the rest of the land of Israel, I'm telling you, or Canaan. After a while, the judges had to rule over Israel. We spoke about the judges just a few, when we did, that was last night's program, wasn't it? Previous night, we were talking about, what do you call it on there? Fihinas. So we had to go into the judges at the time of Samuel. After Samuel, this is after Judges, Samuel, David, King David, and King Saul, and King David, and the great King Solomon, and then of course the kings that ruled after King Solomon coming down the line, and war and the split, I think, between Judah and Israel. A lot of things Israel went through as a nation over the generations, several centuries after the time of Moses. So a lot would have changed, just drawing a good picture for you. A lot would have changed on the landscape as it relates to these people. This is why when you read the book of 2 Chronicles now, it highlights, it makes, big, it's like a big deal there to highlight that the book of Moses was found, because it was lost. Remember, if I'm not mistaken, Israel would have gone through one or two other little captivities here and there. And this is just Chronicles. Listen to this, man. Second Chronicles chapter 34. And when they brought out the money that was brought into the house of the Lord, Hilkiah the priest found the book of the law of the Lord given by Moses. And Hilkiah answered and said to Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan. And Shaphan carried the book to the king and brought the king word back again, saying, all that was committed to thy servant, they do it. And they have gathered together the money that was found in the house of the Lord, and have delivered it into the hands of the overseers and to the hand of the workmen. Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, say, well, hear this, the king. Well, I kind of. Hilkiah the priest, Rastafari, that on the shake the louvers. Hilkiah the priest had given me a book, and Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the law of Moses, that he rent his clothes. And the king commanded Hilkiah and Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, and Abdon, the son of Micah, and Shaphan himself, the scribe, and Isaiah, with an a servant of the king's, say, go, inquire of the Lord for me, and for them that are left in Israel and in Judah, concerning the words of the book that is found. Before I continue there, again, to draw a picture, I think it's very important that we draw a picture. So when we observe what's happening here, so the book of Moses, that's why this is our method of teaching. So this is why we took the time to explain, at least for that short moment there, the science of what was going on during the time of Moses and the building up to where we are here several centuries maybe after. I cannot give you a calculated timeline at the moment, but I know it's a way off time, at least just, understanding what took place between that time and that time. You have a couple centuries, several centuries between. Several generations have passed since Moses, and the book would have been lost. Enough things happened, enough war between brothers and sisters, enough things, or the invasion, and enough things happen. You see me? So the book is gone. So that means we live in a kind of way. That means that we are guessing our way through this stuff then, because the law of Moses cannot be found. Now, the priest who is the keeper of the house of the Lord, one day, maybe the man was doing some spring cleaning, and say, but wait, this is not Moses's book. Wow. Hey, we got to tell Shaphan. Give me a phone call then, man. He went to the scribe. He said, boss, look what I find here. No, this is very, 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 very important. This is very, very important. And I'm building all of this up just to get to the point. You all know the point already, but it adds to the point when you understand how you got to the point. This is the priest of this sanctuary here, the priest of the house of the Lord. And he find the Lord's book. He go to the scribe. These are intelligent people. These are degreed people, the experts, university graduates, versed in several languages, I am sure. And the both of them read the book and cannot understand what the book is saying. Now the scribe, you may say, but no, he didn't say that. Hold on, just take it. The scribe went to the king. So you have the priest, the scribe, and the king. Three stars here. And the scribe read the book to the king. Now that may be said in a verse, but if it's a big book, that maybe is he sit down in front of the king for about 4 days and they don't eat nothing while he recite the book in the king's ear. The king listened to the words. The impression that the reader is getting is that it was in a language that the scribe could understand. The king listened to it, and the impression that you get is that, like the earth shake there a while ago. The impression that you get is that the king himself understood what was read, because he rent his clothes. I mean, he tear up his clothes, you know what I mean? Mourning now, dust on the head, and all of that kind of stuff, wailing. And he was like saying, woe is, you know, woe is me, woe is us. Because he's saying, this is the king saying that there are things written in this book. Because great is the wrath of the Lord poured out upon us. All right. So the king commissioned the priest, the same scribe, and a few other brothers. And I'm telling you, I am sure all these brothers are intelligent beings. Ones that can read the stars. This is very important. One that can calculate the movements, you know, of the astronomical clock. Ones who know other ancient texts. Yeah, man. Geology and biology and pharmacology on that level, because we does put concoction together. We have all them ability from that time. So these are brilliant beings, with no disrespect to none of them. These are brilliant, lighted people. But we have a heavy weight in front of us, the book of Moses. And it's not the language that's beating us. It's just understanding it. This is a very important point too. It's not the language beating us. In fact, the king, you could see the king kind of understand, like, yeah, because he done say like, wow, we in trouble. I hear this man read this book to me. Because if it's books like Deuteronomy, you don't know Deuteronomy is a whole weeping and wailing and doom and gloom if you're not living up. But once you're living up, you're good. So at least you could see he gathers something. He's saying like, what? If you don't do this, what's going to happen? Nah, man, but we don't do this. When last we did this? Since my grandfather time, we have not done this. Oh my goodness, this is not good. But yet still, there was something missing, like he still don't get the full picture. They need help. They need help. I'm sure that other ones came around and had a look at the book, all these other people that were called that had to go with them, like Ayakam, the son of Shaphan, and Abdon, the son of Micah, and who else? And Ayaziah with a name, the servants of the king, servant of the kings. You know, and maybe they had their own servants with them, retinue that followed them, whatever the case is, but it's all brilliant souls. And they could not get the thing, to understand it. So the king is saying here, verse 21. So go and inquire of the Lord for me and for them that are left in Israel and Judah concerning the words of the book that is found. You see, concerning the words. And here who is it to go to? The Lord. Go to the Lord. The Lord is said to go to it. So the priest now and the scribe and of course the king and all the brilliant ones are going to find the Lord. The king not going, but he sent them. And I believe he have an idea where they're going to, because they're going to find the Lord. Inquire of the Lord. And it says here, concerning the words of the book that is found, for great is the wrath of the Lord that is poured out upon us, because our fathers have not kept the word of the Lord to do after all that is written in this book. Okay. Listen to this now. Verse 22. And Hilkiah and they that the king had appointed went to Huldah. Who is he? He? What? The prophetess, the wife of Shalom, the son of Tikvat, the son of Hasra, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt, hear this, she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college. So she at the college, the university, well, let's say college, that's the word they use. So she's at the college in Jerusalem. That is where she's dwelling. She's not a nun, she's a married woman. She is the wife of Shalom, Huldah, the prophetess. I'm sure they had many other prophetess. But here, this the man. They went to inquire of the Lord. The Lord. Maybe they went to Huldah and said, Huldah, can you lead us to the Lord? Do you know where we can go and find the Lord? Is there a man here that can deal with us on behalf of the Lord? You know what I mean? Where is the pool that the angel Gabriel come down? He for sure, you know, has a link with the Lord. No, that's not what it says at all. And they spake to her to that effect, meaning that they show her what's going on. They explained, hey, I found a book, XYZ, go to the king, so and so, and that's why we're here today. And she answered them, thus saith the Lord, God of Israel, tell the man that sent you to me. This is the king now. That's the man that sent them to her. Because he's not there. They are there. So they're going to hear what she has to say. But they are in her presence, so they'll get the message. But he now, he's far away. So they're going to send the message to him. And I'm not even going into the message, because the message basically is, as I said on the lecture itself, some doom and gloom. But it's not about what the message says, it's just how that was put. The messenger, she clearly said that the Lord said, meaning that she is speaking on behalf of the Lord. Now, this may crack some out, but again, as I said, there are several characters even in the Bible. There's several characters that represents the presence of God in flesh, of which Moses is one. Just like the Iosus, the Yahshua, the same Joshua as well too. Noah, without a doubt, is a God figure. You can't play with Noah. Noah is a prime God figure. Them is like hieroglyphs, the Neters or the Neteru. That's exactly what you have there. Now Noah is new. The Nun, we done bust that down. Him with his back and the 8 passengers in the back, just like the Nun. And the Yahshua and the Joshua, and like Heru and the Moses character, and building on the potter's wheel like canoe. So when you understand how to go through the text on that symbolic level, it just brightens up when you read it on a next level altogether. Because that is what it is. The book itself tells you that it is an allegorical book. That's no joke. It tells it so. You know, the book of Revelations express that tremendously. I would like to see the human being that really believe that the dragon gonna come out the sea with 10 horns and 7 crowns, and frogs jumping out of some 3 frogs jumping out of the mouth of some other piece. No, these are symbolism, symbolic expressions, and it's not just in Revelation, and it's not just in Daniel. It's even in some of the stories that you may think is as literal as literal can get. So look, the dragon coming out of the sea with the 7 horns or the 10 horns and the 7 crowns. Now, most people, even a Christian, actually don't believe that that's literally what's going to happen. They will tell you, no, man, that's symbolic of this nation rising up. All right. Okay, fair enough. Good. That's your belief. But there are some people that expect to see a dragon coming out. Now, that's fair enough. Good. So there are those that believe that a real dragon coming out with horns and crowns, and some, the majority, I think, believe that, nah, man, that's just way off. That's just symbolism. Good. All right. So now Jonah being swallowed by a fish. The vast majority of Christians believe, if not all, that Jonah was literally swallowed by a fish. So why is there not space now for the same symbolic gesture, just like the dragon coming out of the sea with the 10 horns and the 7 crowns could be symbolic, while something that is literal? Why not see the same in this issue? Because it's the same vibration. But for some reason, we have been programmed to believe that Revelation is plastered with symbolism. And maybe Daniel too, while the rest of the book is just as real can get. So the rib coming out of Adam, nothing symbolic there. That's how the story goes. You cut him open and take out the rib, and the whole thing, when it is our ancient science again, you know. That is why I speak all the time when you look at our Kemetic writings. You know, it says Apis the bull eats the kidneys of the king. Apis the bull eats the kidneys of the king. You understand? That obviously got to be symbolism again, because we are a symbolic people. That's for sure. So I'm saying all that to say, coming to the conclusion, that in the same way that on a symbolic level, you can read the book and see many figures that are God figures, just like the ark is a God figure too. If the ark can be the presence of God, why Moses can't be the presence of God? And David, symbolically the presence of God. That's what it is. The king on the throne has always been symbolic of the presence of God too. So in this case, Huldah, if we are to read that story properly, nobody can deny. I know some people fight against the woman in the sense of being within the God structure. And all of this come about like, I mean, I tell you already that there have some brethren that's very strong within the Naibingi movement. You can't be so as a bubble. But within the Naibingi movement say that a woman not supposed to even say boo in the tabernacle. And I mean, they have some elder mama. As I said, there's a brethren I personally had this discussion with. You know, I mean, he and even the elder mama may be listening. And you know, I mean, I was at the Bingi house itself. Naya Bingi, you know, I talking about Shanti, Naya Bingi house. And I remember the elder mama said something a day. One of the first women Rasta around here, man. So, like a couple of days after me and the brethren having a discussion there over heated reasoning, not me and him really heated, but a lot of ones were heated over the reasoning, over Bingi principles and Bobo principles and all of that kind of stuff. So the argument came up, or the reason it came up about the woman speaking in the church. And this brother was very stern that the woman not supposed to say nothing in the tabernacle. So I said, so wait. So that Sunday when the sister said, and what the sister was saying was a simple thing, something about a paper and something that wasn't printed, and maybe the word was misprinted. So I said, that Sunday when the sister said that so-and-so wasn't printed right. The brother said, no, she's not supposed to talk. She's supposed to tell her husband, and her husband tell it to her. Now, this brethren not saying so, you know. He's a baby to that empress there. That's an elder man, you know. He has been in it. I mean, he's a big man. He's a big man, you know. Maybe he almost 50. But I'm telling you, he's a baby to her. I said, but wait. What you mean she can't say that? No, man, the woman not supposed all have to do sing. I said, Ja, Rastafari. I said, nah, man. I think my exact words for him was, man, them things archaic, man. You understand? So, and trust me, it is from a Bible principle the brethren coming from. I know several ones like that. So then, well, let's look at the Bible here then now. Let's look at this story here. Let's cipher this out. That this is clearly showing you, and that is why I brought it from so far. That is why I brought it on the level where I had to go into the Moses time and show you the importance of the law that Moses bringing forward. You know, that is why I had to bring it now and show you the gap between the time of Moses and these brethren here that found the law of Moses. How far back they would have slipped and how down the hill they would have gone. Very important. And if you notice, it is all male figures. Everyone in the story is a man. And then the ranking people, you have the high priest. This is the man that run the house of the Lord himself. Then you have the scribe. This is the recorder. This is another big shot. That's what they are. You understand? The priest alone supposed to can tell you about the book. The book not supposed to go in nobody else's hand. The scribe get a chance. He give him the alley hoop. You know what I mean? Didn't work out. He go to the king now. This is the man that rule the place. Maybe he can help us out. He tear up his clothes. And some other ones were around. Wise ones, I'm sure they get a peek and they could have said, but wait, look, man, look, I get it. Look what really going on. The king said, no, man, nobody here can help us. No one here can help us. Go and inquire of the Lord. Yeah. So all the Bible believers that speak of You know what I mean? The woman must learn in silence and all of that. However you interpret it. Well, listen, I don't listen. I know you want to go into that. The ones give you some different interpretation. But my point is really, you know, I shouldn't even carry it on that level. My point is that again, in natural meditation, tongue tie there, for sure you understand that there is positive and negative in everything. And negative now doesn't mean like how we use the word negative, negative, but we have negative as something bad. And all of that has been constructed by the English language constructors to play with your mind and the polarity of your whole understanding of life. So negative is bad. That's negative. So it's wrong. So now all of a sudden male is positive and female is negative. But in the scientific term, that negative doesn't mean negative bad, negative wrong. Well, nobody ever teach you that. Nobody ever sit down and say, well, let me explain this to you. You see, this negative, it doesn't mean negative like when something is wrong. I mean, if you had a teacher that said so, maybe one of the students asked the question, but I know it's not a part of the curriculum nor the syllabus. The silly syllabus. I know it's not a part of it for you to make sure the children understand that this English language construct, you know, may somewhat distort their understanding. And it was designed to actually look down on the woman because the male is positive. That's what it is. And the female is negative. There's nothing wrong with that as it relates to polarity. You have positive and negative in everything. And I will invite you again. I'm telling you, you understand. Believe me, I will invite you to visit that lecture we did on Sunday, Rastafari and the Moon Man. I know anybody that was watching could even comment and say and explain the levels that, you know, all of what we're saying here. Yeah, because there's positive and negative in everything. So in creation itself, it had to be a masculine and a feminine connection. Let us make man could not be him and him. It had to be him and her. So in the same way, because just the term we would say God is male and female, but the term God is masculine by itself. I know it may cover both male, female, and all of that, but then there you go again. But there's a natural balance. So within the God structure, because it's the God, remember it's God they went to. Not unless you see God is something, whoever representing God is like God himself. Whoever representing God at the moment is God flexing amongst us. You understand? But the term God, as I said, you know, it just has God, because that's why you have God and Goddess. So now when God is not a man, you have to stress Goddess. When God is not a he, you have to stress she. Or you'll ever say, you know, me and God himself and he and all of that. But in this case, it shows you that the power of authority, of intelligence and universal balance was Ma'at. Her name was Huldah. There was nobody else they could find anywhere else on the planet that they could dig up that could explain to them the law of the Almighty Eye given unto the great prophet Moses. And they themselves, it wasn't some sheep herders, you know, this is not the Dead Sea Scrolls, you know, not no shepherd, find nothing in no cave. The custodian of the sanctuary of God found the book of God and couldn't get it straight, neither the scribe, neither the king, and all the astrologers and astronomers and all of them stargazers, magicians, doctors, physicians. It just could not work. So we had to go to the Lord, not to a woman, to the Lord. So when they went back to the king, I could imagine the king say, what did the Lord say? I want to know what they tell him. If they say, he said or she said. So tell me, what did the Lord say? Well, she said, he said. Holy Manuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. So yeah, we're very thankful again for your presence. That is how it's done here. We definitely invite you to become a subscriber to the nightly program, The Shock of the Hour. We do it like this each and every evening. At this time, we come together internationally. Of course, we have an international audience, all of those who receive the program via subscription, those who may get the program. Within their different zones, wherever the program may be rebroadcasted as well. And of course, we are thankful for those who are part of that subscription team. If you want to be a part of our subscription team, please contact us via the email precise27@gmail.com. And of course, you definitely become a part of our subscription team where you can get a monthly subscription or 6 months subscription or even a yearly subscription. And of course, the more time that you subscribe to, it will definitely be more beneficial to you economically on that level as well. And remember, there are many, many, many benefits that comes with the subscription team, advancement, and especially since we have began a series of online lectures which will be ongoing and becoming more rapid and more, less time in between one lecture to the next lecture. All of our subscribers definitely have a free pass to all that is being done online, all works and all books and all everything else that is available. So it will be a good situation for you to be a part of that subscription team. So give thanks again for your presence with us. Give thanks for the life giver and the keeper of life. Give thanks for the upful meditation. As we always say here, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And remember, it takes some real eyes to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Yeah, Bible decoded, eh? Looking forward to seeing you 22nd of November, 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time. Holy Manuel eyes, Selassie, Rastafari, blessed.